Welcome to the Ultimate Coach Podcast, Conversations from Being, inspired by the book, The Ultimate Coach, written by Amy Hardison and Alan Thompson. Join us each week with the intention of expanding your state of being, and your experience will be remarkable. Remember, this is a podcast about being. It is a podcast about you. To explore more deeply, visit theultimatecoachbook.com. Now, enjoy today's conversation from Being.
BNS, welcome to the show. Welcome to the Ultimate Coach Podcast.
It's a pleasure, Laban. Thank you for having me here.
This is a big episode, BNS, whether you realize it or not. BNS, it's the people going, what's BNS? You better explain BNS real quick.
Yeah, so I'm from India, so that's why I made it a short version. So my full name is Billuri Naga Sai Srinivas, so which is impossible for you to speak, so that's why I made it BNS.
And it, just a fun fact, includes every single letter of the Indian alphabet. I don't know that, but I know that's true. BNS, this is a really exciting episode personally for me, and I know that our audience as well, because you are officially the first person in the history of Steve Hardison to convince him to appear on a podcast, which you recorded in the last 12 hours. And so we wanted to time this interview to capture the post-glow performance of what happened. And you and I haven't had an opportunity to debrief on any of this. So this is all going to be brand new to me and brand new to the audience. Where shall we start? Where shall we start with this?
With the interview, maybe? How was my experience after I interviewed the man?
Before you do that, you better give an explanation of who you are and how long you've known about Steve Hardison and the Ultimate Coach and the Ultimate Experience.
Yes. I'm a person who likes to help as many people as possible while having the most fun. And I'm the man of value addition. That's what I say. And my name is BNS. So it's so interesting that you will be shocked. The people who are listening to this will also get shocked that Emily Penton is the one that you interviewed before this podcast, introduced me to the world of Steve. And you would be surprised to know that I know Steve, maybe, how can I say this? November, October, November, December. Yeah. At the end of November. Can you guess that? November of 2022.
3 months.
It's
2 months.
Yeah. 2 months. And it's less than 2 months, if I am being honest. And the journey has been very exponential for me. And I learned a lot in a short time. And first of all, thanks to Emily Penton that made this happen. And she was like messaging me every single day to get the Ultimate Coach. I see you in the book. Please get the book and read it from backside and the starting 2 pages. And I was saying, okay. But she was so consistent that I knew that something is there in the book. And I dived right in. And, this miracle happened.
Well, a massive shout out to Emily Penton, who's a dear mutual friend of ours. And if you haven't listened to that episode on the Ultimate Coach podcast, that is a wonderful episode that you should check out. It's just recently would have come out in January 2023, if you're listening. You are a very well-known YouTuber in India and an up-and-coming in the Western world as well. You are the first guy responsible for bringing people like Wim Hof into India and exposing people to him and his work, and a number of other amazing guests. And the speed at which you have grabbed onto this Ultimate Coach is just unbelievable, and how quickly you've embraced. You've already met up with Coach Ranjan. You will be attending the Ultimate Experience in Mumbai. We look forward to seeing you there. Hopefully this episode comes out just before that. So if you're listening to this, make sure you go up and say good day to BNS. He'd love to connect with you. But let's get to what happened on the podcast, because just for context, for those who are listening to this for the first time, Steve Hardison has, for his entire life, rejected offers to appear on TV, radio, any media really of any significance, apart from a year and a half ago. The only thing that really existed was the Deuce Latui TBO LIT NFL video, which has become synonymous with Steve. He even turned down being on the Oprah Winfrey podcast, the show, multiple times. And you were able to convince him to come on your amazing podcast. Tell us what happened.
So I believe in miracles every single day. I even have a practice that I say surprise 3 times. Like, I'm expecting a surprise today. I'm expecting a surprise today. I'm expecting a surprise today. And often I find surprises every single day. So I always believe in surprises and in the opportunities. So once I know about this Steve Hardison, even though I did not read his book, I asked Steve whether he would allow me to interview him. I always believe in the power of asking, because the worst case scenario that can happen is a no, right? But I tried. So we can say that I tried. And what if it's an yes? Many people fear the rejection, but I always think, what if he says yes? And I asked him boldly, and he called me. And that was the first surprise that happened to me. And he said that he never accepted an interview before. Like, so many people tried. But he said that he will accept my request if I read his book the way it is supposed to be read. If I watch the videos that he recommended, he sent me a bunch of them. And he also committed me to bring 5 people to the event who read the book. And he also put the condition that he will ask me some questions. And if he's satisfied with the questions, he will think about coming to the podcast.
Talk about jumping through hoops, right?
Yes. But I know that if there is some kind of opportunity, I know that I can succeed. I just want an opening. And I, with my 100%, more than 100% consciousness, read the book like it's supposed to be read. And I embodied it. I practiced it even while reading the book. I saw the miracles and I posted those miracles to Steve. And Steve acknowledged that. And finally, on one day, he called me and done. He accepted. That's how it came to be.
Holy shit. That's amazing, dude. Good on you. Good on you for following through. So like that, the power of like showing up and committing, right? And for as people get to know you, they will come to learn that you are the master of showing up and committing, and that's why you are achieving the success that you are. Okay, great. So the podcast.
Can I say something, Laban? I just want to say, out of context, but you are a good man. You always help others grow and always try to show others in a good light. And you do it just selflessly, man. I know this, and you're a good man. Thank you.
Thank you very much. This sponsorship was paid for by Laban Ditchburn. Thank you, dude. I appreciate that a lot. It means a lot. So, what happened?
So, miracle happened, and I'm very happy with the interview because for the first time, whenever I interview a person, I write a lot about the introduction. I write a lot. And if I was going to make an interview about Steve, you can imagine the preparation I will make. But for the first time, I made something very unique with the introduction, where I did not introduce the person, but introduced his concept through the introduction. And the interview just went very well because the purpose of the interview is to see themselves in that interview, not to hear Steve, but to see themselves speak. Because I always believe that the way I know this actually, but the beliefs got confirmed after I got in contact with Steve after reading his book, is that we all have the infinite potential in ourselves. For sure. Every solution is within us, but there needs to be something that gets reminded in our mind that brings that out. So Steve is such a pure reflection of us that if we talk or if we experience Steve, we ourselves get to the solution. So I know that, and I just wanted that to project into the interview. And I 100% believe that I made this possible.
Fantastic. And then what happened?
And then, and then I was transformed a lot in the interview itself, because when I got to know about Steve, I knew that Steve always says this, if a person is committed, even if a speaker talks about a phone book, the listener will get a lot of knowledge. Even if he's reading out of a blank paper, white sheet, the listener will learn a lot, because that's the state we have to keep ourselves in. So once I got to know about Steve, I'm just tuning in. Like my tuning levels are becoming like a higher version that I will learn from whatever I'm learning from. And today, the interview is no exception. And I'm so grateful for this opportunity, because Steve said so many things that reflected his teachings. And the interview reflected the basic theme of Steve's teaching, that is to becoming or to being. So you will love this, guys. The people who are listening to this podcast, you will love that interview.
Fantastic. Is there anything that surprised you or shocked you in the process of the interview that you weren't expecting? Not that you can expect. Question. Not that you can expect anything.
The entire interviews. Yeah, that's what. I will say this. I'm not surprised, but I felt so grateful throughout the interview. Yes, Laban, I'm saying this consciously, because while I'm interviewing people, when I interview people, I just try to make sure that I ask the right questions so that the people who are listening can benefit from what I learned. But this interview was different. While I was asking questions, I had to literally bring some new questions out of what I have prepared. And it literally changed, like from question to question. I almost, how to say this? When we experience something very good, we become speechless. And I'm experiencing that right now. And I will be honest here, Laban. Every question led me to learn something new in the interview. Even though I read his book, my book, I will say, and I have watched all the all the videos out there and everything, I learned something new in every single question. And I think that's the point of the whole podcast.
In the 2 months that it's been since you came to know about the book and Steve and this community of people that are involved, is there an obvious change that's happened in you that you can speak about?
I can list 10 to 20 things, because I have already implemented on what I learned. So I will tell you, I will be so happy to tell what I learned and how it changed me. So just like Steve, I also love, beyond more than love, to make people smile. I'm addicted to that. But it's something that I will tell you again, that Steve opened the doors that had been locked inside me. I have been making people smile the way I wanted to, but there's a whole new level of what I'm doing that I knew inside me. But after reading the book and after knowing Steve, I just gave the permission to myself to do them. And as you know, the air hostess thing I mentioned, do you remember that, Laban?
Say that one more time.
Flight attendants.
Yes. You better tell people what you did.
Yeah, I will tell that. So I always wanted to make flight attendants feel happy, because they come on board from the morning until night. They just serve people, but rarely people do appreciate them, right? So I always wanted to do something for them. So, but I always thought that, okay, maybe it will be a little weird, or what if they think wrong? But after reading Steve's work, I knew that whenever I see an opportunity, I act on them. I think that's what differentiates Steve from other people. When he sees an opportunity, he acts on it without any backup. For example, I will say there's a concept in Chinese philosophy called Wu Wei, where If something that's good for you, you do it. You don't negotiate anymore. So I think Steve is doing exactly that. So when he sees an opportunity to practice loving kindness with other people, he just jumps right in. So now I am practicing that. So recently, with 2 times that I was flying, I gave some chocolates to flight attendants. Generally people will think that, okay, what's the great deal in that? But I still remember the face of the flight attendants that I gave the chocolate. They were so shocked that people will think that what happened here. They were like opened their mouth and their eyes were glowing up and they were in a state of shock. I will tell you that both the experiences that I had. So first time when I gave, people were shocked. And in the middle of the flight, all the flight attendants, air hostess came near us and they switched on the light and they just in the namaste pose, they were like all around us and saying that, thank you so much. It really means a lot because of people like you. We want to serve people more. And they were like so happy. And I did second time. And the second time was even better. They even wrote me a letter of appreciation and they even took selfies with me and everyone around me are like looking that I'm a celebrity or something. Why the hell will they take a photo with me? And after seeing such things, it will also improve other people. It will also nudge people to do other things. For example, after seeing that, my sister also got motivated and she tried the same and she got a cookie box as a gift. We are not doing something to get something in return, but that's what I'm saying. See, the simple thing that I learned is to give permission to myself to act on the opportunity was a big change that I saw in myself.
Amen, brother. And there's something that you got me thinking about as well. Like in the event that the plane ever goes down, I can assure you that those flight attendants will remember you and they will prioritize getting your ass off that plane over some disgruntled customer who's whinging about sitting next to someone that's causing them a bit of grief. There was an experience I had leaving Australia at the end of in October 2021. There was 9 people on a 747, a Singapore Airlines flight, and I had an opportunity. There was like nine passengers and 11 staff, so we were overserved, and and I was able to have a similar experience. And my book had just come out, and and I was just sharing some ideas and thoughts about how to improve the situation, and got a beautiful handwritten note like. These people, and they moved into that industry because they love, but it's the same, right? We love service. We love to serve.
Yes.
And the acknowledgement is worth more than any pay rise, which is what I know that for a fact from my 13, 14 years in technology recruitment. Like you just need to make people feel valued and they'll do the same job for the same money, right? You don't need to give them pay increases. That's great, dude. That's really amazing.
Yes, Laban. So actually, I just wanted to say something. I was so into Steve that when I was talking with someone today, I know that I'm sorry for this, but I called them Steve.
That's brilliant. Not too many Steves in Hyderabad, I'm guessing.
Yeah, only one.
Just one. So the ultimate coach, the ultimate experience is February 25th, right?
Yes.
You're going to be there. Anna and I are going to be heading there.
Yeah.
What are you hoping is going to happen for you at this event?
It would be the greatest opportunity for me to listen to myself. I have already thought about this. I'm not saying some woo-woo things or some things to impress the audience, but I'm really serious about this. When I go and sit down in the audience to listen to the people there, I will be so committed, like I will be beyond the word commitment, that I will become a new person when I, like more improved version, BNS 2.0, when I come outside the event. Because I'm going there with such kind of commitment, because the stakes are very high. It would be I guess the only seminar, maybe one of the last seminars by Steve. And when we go there, it's an opportunity. It's like an open letter that we can write to ourselves to change to whoever we want to be. So when I sit there, I will change. I know that already.
So what advice would you give to other people that are maybe turning up to their first ever ultimate experience? What to prepare for being in India, such a spiritual place, and in that event? What advice would you give people on how to maximize the event?
Yeah. First of all, you have to read The Ultimate Coach the way it's supposed to be. First, we have to read it. And once you read it, I know the answer is self-evident, but to add a little bit more information into it, see, India is a space of, or a place of spirituality. Spirituality does not mean it's a woo-woo thing. The people who are going to attend the event would be helped by the spirituality of the land. The reason why I'm saying is that there will be some kind of additional force for you that you can utilize by coming to the place of spirituality that can enable you to listen to yourself and can actually many people know on what they can improve. They just don't talk to themselves. So if someone like Steve and Amy and many people who come there and speak, people, once they listen to them after reading the book, it would become like a mirror. I always say that once you read this book the way it's supposed to be read, this biography will become an autobiography of your own. That's how you have to approach this. And I recommend the people who are coming there to just surrender yourself 100%. Just be open. Even if a person say hi, try to learn from that. Be in such kind of listening.
Okay, great advice. BNS, I want to ask you a personal question, which I hope you're able to respond to. Your father passed away last year?
Yes.
Pretty recently last year. When was it?
September 9th, 2022.
So September 9th. And your father, from conversations we've had a wonderful impact on your life, was a prominent man in the political arena in Hyderabad and incredibly charismatic and influential, which clearly you've inherited a lot of his DNA and that influence, right? Which is amazing. I want to know, if any, how learning about the ultimate coach, Steve, everything else has helped you in that healing process, if at all.
Yes, I will say this. But before this, I just want to give a context to this. Our family is completely a different type of family that you have. Like, it's rare to see. Many people feel even jealous of our family because of our tight-knittedness. We are so close that I think there is not a single day that we are not there with each other. Like, you understand, right? So everyone, my grandmother, my father, my mother, my sister, and me, like, we are like the tight bond that you can ever see. So 2021, in August, my grandmother has passed away. I'm the closest person to her. Like, even we in India, we sleep on the same bed, everyone. So we share everything, and all this personal development and everything started with my grandmother. And that was a very downtime for me after she passed away, because I don't know why I'm doing anything. Because I don't know why I'm doing anything. I always wanted to share everything to my grandmother, and she used to suggest me so many things. But after reading so many books, even though it's healthy to experience every human emotion, I experienced that. And I appreciate their presence. And my father is a very charismatic guy, as you said, and people will call him as my brother because they do not see him as a father, because he's so young. And he's influential and he's charismatic and he's so many things. And he also did not know that he would pass away, because it all happened within a span of 2 weeks. And it happened right in front of my eyes. And I'm already in a state of being at that time that I accepted the situation. I grieved, but I'm more grateful than the grief. So I was in a grateful position and in this form of gratitude. I have the continuous gratitude. Yes, I miss him, but I know that he's in a better place because the last 2 weeks he has suffered a lot. I mean, a lot. And knowing Steve, I am just focusing on who I can be when I think about my father. So when I'm thinking about my father, who I can be to make my father proud, who I can be so that I can fulfill my father's aspirations. So that kind of mode I'm in now. So I'm like, whatever I'm doing that, even when I'm giving a word to any person, I'm now very conscious about it because after knowing about Steve, word is commitment. Commitment is you, right? So the way you are being, the way you are giving the words will reflect your being also. So yes, I was already in a place of gratitude and it was easy to learn from Steve when I was dealing with my father. So it's more like whenever I think about my father, I just think about the ways I can be, the person who I can become to carry on his legacy to even a higher places.
What do you think Steve would say if he had an opportunity to have a conversation with your dad?
He already said it. He said that my father is so proud of me.
He should be, dude. He should be. You're doing amazing things. And like, what are you, 26?
27.
27? Like, you got the wisdom of 150-year-olds, right? It's really extraordinary, dude.
I'm grateful to find all such people at an early age. I always believe in the constant and never-ending improvement, and then that's why I find people.
And you're bringing your family to the ultimate experience as well.
Yes, yes.
What can we expect when we meet your mum, your sister, anyone else?
Yeah, yes. So yeah, you will see them. I think we all be gonna stay in Hotel Sahara Star, right? So we're gonna have fun.
Have they? So they're going to have to read the book as well. Have they started reading the book yet, or are they going to do that beforehand?
Yeah, I will make sure that they read the book. I see. Whenever I read something, I just talk about it nonstop, so that they get like those lessons will get imprinted into them. But it's not about me; it's about them. It's about you, right? So we have to make sure. I am committed. I committed Steve that I will bring 5 of my dear people to the event. I'm going to make it, but I know that I will bring more than 5 and maybe more than 10, 20, 30. Who knows the number? And well, I'm committed.
Well, I hope if Coach Ranjan's listening to this, that he's got provisions for extra seats because I think it's 500 people. And if you weren't able to get to the event, that's okay. That's okay. I got a funny feeling, just from an observational point of view, having been exposed to Steve now since really September 2021 is when I first spoke to him. I got a funny feeling that, in watching the evolution of Steve, that he is more than likely really enjoying witnessing the evolution of what's happening and I understand his reasons for not wanting to put himself out there for a long time and, wanting to protect the information with his coaching clients and all this other stuff. But when I interviewed Emily Penton, I asked a question around like, what would be some constructive criticism that you would give to Steve, right? I was like, oh my God, what am I asking this question for? And she said something that was really great. It was like, people need to hear the love in his voice. They need to hear him, even if it's through recordings or through these interviews and through seeing him speak. And I agree with that statement. I think it would be a real shame if heaven forbid, Steve passed away without any of these recordings being made available. So, I want to acknowledge Steve and just say, hey, brother, I know you're going to listen to this as well. Like, if there was ever any doubt in your mind about what you're doing, like, don't. Like, it's the flow and effect is just rippling into millions and millions of people's lives. By the time this time next year, I can tell you that right now, it's extraordinary. So we thank you for your service. BNS, is there anything on your heart that you wanted to add to what we're talking about today?
Yes. What one can be, one must be. And that can only happen when one knows that they are the creators of their life. They can literally become whatever they want. I know this, I know this so deeply that I can even write a blank check and give you. I know this. And Steve made this obvious. So guys, I'm saying this, please take this to your heart. Whatever your wildest dreams or the craziest dreams that you're having is not even the beginning. You can literally become the person you want and you need to be, because once you become the person you want to be, you can help others to become what they want to be. The reason why I'm saying is this, that the real meaning of hero, do you know the real meaning of hero?
Tell me.
The real meaning of the hero is not someone who can kill 1,000 people or who can beat thousands of people with one punch or not. No. The real meaning of a hero is the person who has the strength for two. So in order to, what that means is that he can protect others while protecting himself. And the way he can protect others, he or she can protect others, is to first protect themselves, right? So be the example of your own being. Be the person who you can be so that you can help others to become what they can be. That's what I want to say.
I love it, dude. I've asked this question to a few guests, and I want to ask you as well. Someone is listening to this and they've stumbled across it somehow. The universe has just brought them together with this part of the interview. And they are at a place where they are at a complete rock bottom. They are seriously considering ending it all, suicide, whatever you want to call it. They feel helpless. They feel useless. They've been rejected, dejected, and are worthless in their own being. What advice would you give someone who's in that state?
First of all, it's not your fault. That's for sure. And second of all is that I would like to introduce a concept called amor fati. Amor fati is a Greek concept. Nietzsche also talked about it. Is that the more obstacles that you add into your fire, the fire will become that much brighter and greater. I really believe this. I ordered a coin about amor fati, but it did not reach. But I still love this concept that no matter how many obstacles you face, that will become your way. Obstacle is the way. I'm really serious about this. You may think that it's like nothing. I cannot see the grass, like the green grass over there, but it's there. Really, it's there. It's almost like you're almost close to it, that you will know this. Please, please, please be for some more time. You will know this. I will share an example that I learned from Wim Hof. Wim Hof's wife ended her life. She committed suicide. But Wim Hof was completely in love with her, and he did not know the path that he is going to take anymore in his life. And he was almost lost. He could have also taken his life. But what happened is that because of her, he jumped into a lake. And that's how he invented the Wim Hof method. And now I'm a beneficiary of Wim Hof method. I benefited a lot, and millions of people's lives got saved. So the reason why I'm saying is that something seems very bleak and very grim at the moment, but the result would be much more than you have ever imagined in your life. And that may be occurring after 5 years or 10 years, but it will happen. You have to be in this world to witness that. Whatever you're gonna do, you can do anything as long as you are here. Once you are not there, you cannot do anything. That's what I'm saying. Please stay here. and just see how it rolls. It will become a beautiful dance.
Amen, brother. And you know, the other irony is that if you kill yourself, right, you're gonna be reincarnated, and you're still gonna have to do the work, right? So like, you can't. It's not one and done. You're an infinite being, right? You're going to come back and you're going to have to do the work, right? It's just what we all have to do. There was a great book that I read, Messages from the Masters by Dr. Brian Weiss, that I read maybe a year and a half ago, BNS, and it killed any fear of death that I had. And I have zero fear of death. It's not that I would get up on a 38th story balcony and tightrope walk across the edge of the balcony without a restraint, but like I'm at peace with it. And what you're talking about is exactly right. You know, like we are supposed to go through all this adversity for us to sort of see the beauty and the light. And you had this perfect family dynamic, and then your father's, you know, snatched away from you all of a sudden. And Wim Hof has, you know, it's famous how much in love with this woman he was. And I wonder if you asked him, maybe you did ask him this, if he had the opportunity for her not to die and to give up everything that he's learned, what would he do? You know what I mean? Like, would he continue to allow it to happen, or would he try and prevent it?
Of course you can. No, actually, it's like unfortunately or fortunately, we can say that if Wim Hof knew the Wim Hof method while she was there, he could have helped her. Do you know that?
Wow.
So yeah, I think he will never leave, like never wish that things were different, because that's how he was able to help a lot of people. And we can see this. There are some people who are there in this world to do good, and he's one of them.
BNS, where can people find you, brother?
So I have 2 YouTube channels. So first channel is BNS Goku Great, which is my English channel where the interview with Steve will be uploaded. Yeah, today I know this. I committed, so I will keep it. So January 11th, you can see Steve's interview there. So BNS Goku Great is my English channel. And another channel is called Telugu Superhumans, where the language is Indian, it's Telugu. And people can, Indians can watch me there. And Instagram, carnivore_superstar, where if they want to get in touch with me, they can. Thank you.
Yeah, we'll make sure that the links are in the show notes as well. What might be fun is if you translate into Telugu, Steve's, and put it on your Indian channel and see what people think.
My exact plan is that I'm gonna make a video by using the content of the video of the interview and the experience of reading this book, and I will make the most beautiful crafted video ever. And it's going to be recorded tomorrow.
That's so good. Well, this will be out. By the time this comes out, all this will be available, right? So exciting. BNS, what concluding thoughts, if any, do you have for our amazing audience today?
Yes. I am repeating myself because I just want this point to be in your mind and heart. When I get excited, I just say, but this is what I want you to listen. What one can be, one must be. Please be what you must be. That's how you are supposed to be on this earth. And that's how you can serve other people well. And that's how you can fulfill your own life.
Ladies and gentlemen, BNS.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening. If you know someone who would benefit from today's conversation, please share this podcast with them. Also, we invite you to visit theultimatecoachbook.com so you can continue your personal exploration of being. There you will find links to join our wonderful community, Get your own copy of the Ultimate Coach book and more. Simply go now to www.theultimatecoachbook.com. That's www.theultimatecoachbook.com. The link is also available in the show notes. We appreciate your support. Be blessed. Be you.